You're watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Green Bay Packers content, created for the fans by the fans. Hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you know whenever we go live. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Packers_Access. Go Pack Go. Enjoy the show.
What's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_Access. Text us 865-658-5824. Joined alongside Tim in Green Bay, fresh off the road trip to Milwaukee, here to talk some Packers this evening. What we're going to do is give everybody an update on the playoff picture to the best that we know up to this point. We'll hit on all the games around the league from earlier today. There were some dandies, let me tell you. Now, most of them didn't go the Packers' way, unfortunately, but it was a fun day of football, no doubt about that. We'll also give you guys some injury updates as they come in. We got a few updates on that front with the Lions game coming up, obviously, here on Thursday. But before we get into anything, let's go ahead and give a quick shout out to the good folks over at Ticket King, the official ticket provider of Packer Fan Total Access Live. Wisconsin-based since '92, specializing in Packers tickets. They're Wisconsin's largest ticket source, with offices next to Lambeau and in Milwaukee. Click on the link in the video description and they'll send you their website, theticketking.com. You can register there as a customer and go ahead and start shopping for your Packers tickets. Again, that's Ticket King, the official ticket provider of Packer Fan Total Access Live. Tim, Bub, how was the trip, man? How you doing this evening?
Good, man. Got to see family. Got to have a kind of like a second Thanksgiving. So that was a fun trip, man. We're back home. Made it safe. Happy to be here, man. Got caught up. Good work with Chalk Talk. You know, ready for Lions Week now. We're done celebrating that last dub. Getting ready for this next one. So I'm happy to be here, man.
Absolutely, man. Everybody praising the fact that you're back, and it's either them saying "Welcome back, Tim," or they're cussing Kyler Murray out in the chat because he let us down there in the Vikings.
Here's a guy.
Nothing.
That was for me, not Kyler Murray.
Exactly.
Oh, that was atrocious, man. I think it might be safe to say he's a wee bit overrated. I'm just gonna say that. Yeah. Kind of a letdown today, but what are you gonna do, man?
When the game's on the line, man, he just doesn't really rise to the occasion. It's crazy, too, because I remember his rookie year, one of his first starts, I remember the Hail Mary to win the game at the very end. And it's like, okay, this dude might have that clutch gene, right? Wrong. Seems like it's totally the opposite, man. He just, pardon the pun, but he shrinks when it's time to play big, right?
He looks like a guy that just, like doesn't want to play football. Like, do you even want to be here, man? Like – I'm just here to get a check and go home and play Xbox. That's it. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, it really is. That's really what it feels like. No doubt about it, man. But again, let's we'll go around the league and hopefully these standings will update. I was just telling Tim I'm waiting for ESPN standings to update. If you guys would confirm for me how many wins Tampa Bay has after today. I thought they would have 6. I think that would make them 6-6, but I could be wrong. In the chat, somebody let me know how many wins they've got, because again the standings are still showing just 5 wins. I'm almost positive they have 5 wins going into today. If that's the case, then we might not be able to hit the updated standings yet if they're not out, but
I'm seeing 6-6 for Tampa Bay.
Okay, so
I don't know if that's updated. I think it should be, right? Week 12 or week 13, so that's 12 games.
Yeah, so we got conflicting reports. Bates says 6-6, Reef says 5 wins. It looks like 6 wins. I'm almost positive. So we may have to go to a different website when we get to the standings aspect. I wanted to look at the playoff race and kind of who did shuffle around. Did anything change much? Now, we talked about, Tim, earlier today as we were going through previewing all these games, that really worst case scenario, if every team won that hurt the Packers, right, the seeding still wouldn't change. But it's nice to get an updated look at the standings, obviously, and see kind of, all right, who's on our heels in that regard. I believe we still got a 2 or a 3 game lead in terms of the closest playoff team other than the Washington Commanders, which they're probably going to be in regardless, just like us. So, but we'll get into all that, obviously. Let's do this. Let's just go to Twitter real quick and kind of go around the horn. Let's hit some information, some injury information. As Tom Silverstein had tweeted out earlier today, he said, LaFleur said that wide receiver Romeo Doubs is still officially in concussion protocol despite practicing. Typically, practice is the last step. before an independent neurologist makes the final decision on whether the player is cleared. Tim, I feel comfortable saying Romeo Doubs is going to play in this game. Obviously, that's a lot of time to recover from that. What do you think? You think Doubs will be active here come Thursday night?
Oh yeah, I think if there was a setback, we would have known sooner. But again, this is great information from Spoon there, because that's just part of the protocol, right? They got to see what he looks like out there in practice, and then they make their final check in and analysis to see if he's good to go. And I'm assuming he's going to be cleared. I'm with you, Clay. Now, how involved in the game plan is he going to be on Thursday? That's a whole different conversation. But I would look to see Coach LaFleur trying to get him involved. I just don't know how heavy he's going to be in that game plan. So hopefully he's good to go.
Yeah, I think so too, man. Coach Lynn says Romeo will be good to go. He's pretty confident there. He says Ja might be good to go also. And as you can see here, this tweet from Wes Hokowitz, the GOAT, the young GOAT, as we should say. Cornerback Jair Alexander with the knee and wide receiver Romeo Doubs concussion protocol both returned to practice today. Linebacker Edgerrin Cooper with the hamstring was on the bike, and Corey Ballantyne, cornerback with the knee injury, was working with trainers off to the side. So there might be a slight chance that Edgerrin Cooper could be ready by Thursday. We'll see. Obviously, he was out today. But being on the bike, that does make me feel a little bit better, Tim. It seems like if someone doesn't have a shot, especially with something like a hamstring injury, that probably wouldn't have them on the bike too extensively. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. I mean, you see that right there. So Ballantyne was doing, rehab work basically. Coop they actually had on the bike, and that's kind of like the next step to, get your ass off the bike and get on the field. So hopefully we'll see Edgerrin Cooper sooner than later. Again, I don't know. Questionable probably. We don't really have the actual injury report yet. I don't know if he's going to go Thursday night, but that would be awesome. But then again, looking at the way these linebackers have been playing lately, maybe Coop gets another week and gets it together, and we get him back next week. But hey, things are looking up. I guess that's the moral of the story here when it comes to a lot of these key names. Josh seems to be moving around pretty well, all things considered, missing the last, 3 games we've been with him. So any reps that he gets is going to be a bonus. So we'll see.
Yeah. And Tim, since you were away, we had the viewers, the listeners, vote on the PTA Players of the Week, and it was Jordan Love and your boy Quay Walker got voted in by the fans here, which is absolutely awesome. So obviously, they were your PTA Players of the Week for Week 13. Their Thanksgiving night matchup against the Miami Dolphins. Pretty cool to see. So.
I love it. I was getting nervous there. My boy Quay was looking kind of rough. He's hitting his stride now, though. I think if he puts a solid run together for himself like he's been playing these past few weeks and closes out this year strong, man, you guys can, all you Quay Walker haters, better get used to him, because I don't think he's going anywhere.
Tim just said you guys heard Quay Walker haters, but what I heard was Clayton. So we'll see how it plays out, man. I'll tell you, you're right though. If he plays like he has been these last couple games, let's go, man. Let's get it up. And what's crazy, Tim, is he's got another year under contract, right? So we got a whole other year to try to prove it as well. So if he finishes this season strong, picks up next year right where he leaves off, probably going to be a done deal. They'll give him a deal, right?
Absolutely. Considering he's been the green dot for a while too, clearly they love Quay in that locker room and on that staff. So we'll see. Like you said, though, it's contingent on, not just having 2 really good games. You got to put together a solid stretch here, because it was a little shaky first 3 quarters of this season. So fingers crossed for Quay.
Stamp chat's out of control, I swear. All right. Next thing here. Tucker.
It's got to be Eric Sutherland, right?
It actually wasn't.
Wow, look at that.
We won't say any names here, but it's just, the one there, Chris Ian talking about Quay, he thinks he's going to be gone, right? And that's cool. We can agree to disagree on that. But the next one, it's like, I ain't getting into all this, man. Anyway, Tucker Kraft. I put Tucker Kraft on a mission. Ryan Wood put this tweet out. I just love Tucker Kraft, man. I love how he talks trash. It's not like, hey, we're going to win the game. Hey, we're going to kick their ass. He just throws these little subtle things in like, y'all better watch out in that secondary. And here's what Ryan Wood tweeted out. Tucker Kraft asked about Kirby Joseph. Let's just say the football gods owe everyone some 1v1 on Thursday night. Quote, he's taken some of my brothers out of the game, and I think about that too. So if I get a chance to get my hands on them, playing, and let's just go ahead and read the entire quote. That was kind of the headline, all right? So he said, quote, he's a respectable player in the NFC, but in my mind, I'm not really worried about DBs too often. I'm worried more about the guys in the box, and I'm sure they bring guys down, safety rotation, and we target them in the run. But it's just a different game. I don't have too many tidbits on Kirby. I know he's a dangerous player. He can flip games. He's a good DB. I might not agree with some of the places he likes to lay contact. He's taken some of my brothers out of the game, and I think about that too. So if I get a chance to get my hands on him, playing football. So look for Tucker Kraft. When we get us a nice little ISO run play and Tucker gets out there and tries to get to that next level and digs out of safety. You know what I would love to see, Tim? This to build momentum all week long. Like it's going to be Tucker Kraft going after Kirby Joseph, and then he never gets his hands
Ben
on
Sims all night long. Let's go.
What I was going to say is he never gets his hands on him, but Christian Watson just cleans that clock. I would love to see it. Absolutely love to see it.
Yes,
so I'm so excited for this game, man. This feels like a playoff game coming up. It really does, right? It's the best team in the NFC against a division rival who some believe are better than the Minnesota Vikings, right, which has the second best record, I believe, in the NFC. We'll find that out here in a couple of weeks, But, man, I don't know about you. This Detroit game in Detroit, I hope it's loud as hell. I hope they're so fired up that this feels like when we went to Minnesota and played Favre as a Viking. I hope it feels like that. Just hop through the roof. And the reason being is get our guys that kind of playoff hype experience, right, before the playoffs hit. And let's see what we can do. Let's see if we can hang with them. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. And you're right about that playoff atmosphere because, help or not from these other NFC teams, things could get interesting as we grind out the end of this season. Teams can take a backslide. Teams can get hot. Positions can change. Obviously, I don't think we're going to necessarily, sneak up and run away with the division title or anything, but certainly it's not mathematically impossible at this point. What's more realistic is leapfrogging Minnesota, and you only do that if you handle your business in the division. We've already had a couple of divisional losses. We got to get this dub on Thursday. I feel you. It's a playoff time vibe. It's going to be a playoff type atmosphere. Certainly a team that we probably will run into the playoffs, depending on how things shake up as the year goes. This may not be the last time we have to play the Detroit Lions, but in all honesty, guys, they're banged the hell up right now and primed for a Packers team to come into their building and smack them around on prime time on Thursday night. This is probably your best chance to beat the Lions right now. Certainly better than it was earlier this year at that game I had to attend that did not go so well. It'd be nice to steal one in their building this time around. And, you don't wish for guys to get hurt or be hurt or anything like that. But, hey, it is what it is. Everybody's banged up right now, but Detroit has taken some major hits on their defense. And that's a chance for J Love and the boys to cut loose. And, hey, these are different teams, right? We're a different team than we were just a few short weeks ago playing that Lions team. The proof is on the tape, and Detroit's a different team as well, simply due to the fact that they're juggling personnel around so much right now. I believe they made a couple signings trying to put some patches on that defense. So it'll be an interesting matchup nonetheless. But you're absolutely right, Clay. I hope we are hyped. And I hope Packer fans make the trip. If I had tickets, I'd go. I'd make the trip to Detroit just to get loud in their building.
Definitely. Ron Samble in the chat says Kraft isn't lying. Joseph is a dirty player. Now, I think I'm trying to remember, Tim. There's many people commenting on this. Actually, let me go here first. Cody McDougal said headhunting 53 all day. That's our point of attack. And then Chris N says, Cody, you're right. That D lineman went after Love with a cheap shot. And then Cody came back and said, can't forget that ankle roll. Come on now. This is going to be a dub. We're going in ready to punish and set straight. set it straight before we see them later. So, Tim, it does seem like I vaguely remember somebody trying to do an ankle roll. Was that Detroit that did that on Love?
Yeah, I believe it was. And it was one of those deals after the play too. He was already down,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and you're kind of trying to get yourself up or whatever, and it was like a little extra grab and a twist, you know, and that's not far removed from the knee issues that Jordan had this year. So I remember that, and yeah, Detroit's got some they got some dogs, not some DOGs, not some DAWGs. They got some dogs, some ankle biters. I guess dirty might be the word to use at times. But hey, at the end of the day, it's an intense rivalry. You know, the Lions are no longer the joke of the NFC North like they used to be. Yeah, it's going to be a chippy game for sure. Oh, look at this. We've got footage. Yeah, that's what I remember right there.
Look at him twisting it. Look at this.
Look how long he's holding it too. It's like,
and he leans in. Look at him lean into it. Right. Oh yeah. Yeah, hopefully they'll show that. Now, I don't see number 53. I'm not sure who we were referring to there. That's 41 that was doing that. Maybe that was Kirby Joseph. I don't know his number. But regardless, it don't matter who it is. Everybody can catch these hands come Thursday. Because that right there, dude, that's as dirty as you can see Love trying to roll out of it, bro.
Yeah, and he's rolling over on it, you know. And I'll tell you this, you know, another great comment I think I saw in here. I don't know if that was Cody. Yeah. Cody had a good one here. Dirty is never the way in Green Bay. We'll show what's right, and that's the sentiment I'm echoing right now. I'm all for, hey, let's get a little revenge for these cheap shots, and if you got to take a personal foul penalty, cool, get it out of the way, get it over with. Let's not make this an all day long affair where you start getting caught up in the mind games and the dirty plays, and you're not playing football anymore. You know, we got to go in there and play hard, play intense, play fast, play fearless. But the chippiness can start really screwing you if you get caught up in the hype too much. And we don't want any of our guys getting disqualified. We don't want any nonsense like that. I mean, we saw what happened today in Jacksonville. You know, there's no place for that in our game. So, you know, hopefully the Packers just keep a cool head. But I'm all for protecting Jay Money and getting a little revenge too. So, got my eye on you, 41. If you're in fact still in the lineup and not one of the 75 players on the injury report for Detroit. So
so that was James Houston, is what it's saying. So didn't James Houston get cut or go on IR? I believe. I don't know if that's James. They looks awful small for James Houston. It definitely wasn't Kirby Joseph though. We just found that out. Regardless, again, I don't care who it is. And listen, I know you don't want penalties. You want to play clean. I get you guys being all modest and stuff. I'm sorry. I'm built a little bit different. If I'm on that team, I'm sending in a goon. I'm finding 41 right off the damn bat. And you take a third stringer, Zane Anderson, we got the job for you, bro. Get in here for one play.
I'm going to be honest. The biggest trash talking guy on that team is Amon-Ra St. Brown. So I hope the secondary is tuned up. The piss better be hot on Friday night. That's all I got to say. Or Thursday night, excuse me.
Yeah.
Got me all emotional. I can't even think straight right now.
Prince in the chat said 41 is linebacker James Houston. That's what I was showing. And then I thought he got released, and Ron Sandoval said that James Houston got released.
Oh.
So, yeah, there you go.
Amon-Ra St. Brown it is. Let's go, boys.
Yeah. Now, Mr. Mikey Riggs is pointing out that Kirby Joseph did target Tyler Higbee and TJ Hawkinson, obviously both tight ends. So let him try that on Tucker Kraft and see what happens, boy. I'm excited about it, man. It's going to be
what's Brian Branch's deal? What's his status?
We don't have an injury report yet, so no idea. I'm still waiting to hear about Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm wondering if they might suspend Jahmyr Gibbs. Did you hear about that fiasco?
For dry snitching on his whole team.
My man was getting ready to rob a bank. He wrote the game plan out right behind it, filmed it.
Which reminds a picture of it on the police station.
Oh, this is beautiful. Perfect story to draw a parallel here.
Yeah,
me and Mandy first got married. Our first home, we bought a condo, right? This was way back in 2000. God, what was it? 2007. Well, there was a series of break-ins throughout this neighborhood in one night. I come out to go to work, and my Mustang trunk lid's up, right? I'm like, what the heck? What's going on here? You know? And sure enough, went looking through it. Our camera was missing out of the car. I'm like, all right, crap. Somebody stole our camera. Somebody broke into the car, stole our camera. Long story short, get a call from the police station, and they said, "Hey, we found your stuff because we called, filed a police report, and they for insurance purposes, any valuables that got stolen get replaced." Long story short, they called and said, "Hey, we found your stuff. We've got your camera." I'm like, "All right, cool. I'll come. Can I come pick it up?" "Yeah, cool." And they said, "Funny story. Your camera's the only reason we caught these guys. They caught them, right? And they were in custody. They had hit a bunch of houses and a bunch of cars, right? And they went back to their little, about said a bad word, crappy house, right? Go back to their crappy house, and they took pictures of them with the loot with our camera. They had all the evidence right there on the camera." Bro, it was gold, absolute gold. So, what is that?
They learned their skills from the wet bandits from Home Alone, right?
Calling card, exactly. Oh, and I'll never forget that. What does that have to do with the Packers? Absolutely nothing, right? Yeah. Coach Lynn in the chat says Coach Campbell might have to line up at 3 Tech this game. LOL.
Ooh.
So true, man. They're so banged up, and I can't wait to see the injury report to kind of get a good grab on how bad is it. I'm sure we could look at the injured reserve list. We probably need to do that, to be honest with you. But I know there's several starters from the defensive side on there. Now, listen, they got a legit top 3 offense, no doubt about it. They're going to be able to score points. The question is, how do you attack it? You want to put pressure on Goff? You want to play it safe and kind of bend but don't break? We'll dive into that as we get a little deeper into the week here and breaking down all the important information in that regard. Eric Sutherland said, "Yeah, he alligator rode on Love's ankle. Time to curb stomp him, effing bum." Eric Sutherland, I'm happy as hell to see Quay playing well, and I was definitely down on him. I think everybody was, for the most part, down on him. I mean, it is what it is. Even Tim wasn't going on here going, "Quay's playing great. Quay's playing great." No. You could see it all over your face. You were frustrated, like, man, because the athleticism's there. Right?
And you're down on the play, not the player, right? It's like that's what we talk about, right? Criticize play, not the player. You can run your mouth all day about, not maintaining the edge or missing your gap assignment on a run fit or not getting the right call and things that have to do with the game. That's fine to be down on a guy, but you can't just throw a dude under the bus because he's having a bad run. There's guys that have Hall of Fame careers, and you can go back and look by the numbers and see the seasons that were better than others. And sometimes guys have an off year or they have a bad half a season, things like that. I think, Quay playing in a, Joe Barry scheme, his first couple of years in the league and then having to adjust to Hafley and what he's trying to accomplish. I think it just took him a little time. We're past that halfway point in the year and Quay's hitting his stride. I always had a feeling that Coach Hafley, Coach Campanelli, those guys would be able to unlock him. And I think we're starting to see it now for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Great point by Coach Len there too. Happy that Quay didn't get down on himself. That's huge. A lot of growth from him in his first couple of years in the league, and he's really becoming a nice professional in this NFL scheme of things here as far as linebackers go. So I think Quay's definitely got his head on straight. That's a big thing that we were always concerned about with him. So little adversity doesn't bother him, and I think he's better for it. I totally agree with that, Coach Len, for sure.
Yeah. And Go Pack Go, or Go Pack 84 fan in the chat says another snow globe game tonight. As you can see here on the screen, this was the fans in Buffalo trying to clear the stadium. They got the field completely cleared, but snow showers are falling again as they're I think getting ready to kick off.
Did you see the story about those two fans right there?
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Son, right?
Yeah, and they came from Ohio. It was like a 4.5-hour drive or something to help. And then I guess another Bills fan saw that they didn't have tickets and just gave them their tickets for the game. So those two will be in attendance tonight. Pretty awesome.
Absolutely awesome. Yeah, they just kicked off. They had to reset the kickoff because the wind blew the ball off the tee. It's going to be a wild night. Obviously, we're pulling for the Bills tonight. We want San Fran to lose as they're sitting at 5-6. See if those standings got updated yet. If not, then I'll close everything out here in a minute and we'll it's been updated now, so we'll get to that here in a second. So make sure you guys put that on the background if you can. That Buffalo game is going to be a lot of fun to watch, no doubt about that. Let's go around the league real quick, Tim, and just get some scoring updates here if we can. We'll go ahead and close that out and kind of see what happened across the NFL today. We'll go rapid fire. We won't spend too much time on this, but I think it's important, like I said, to kind of keep our eyes on what's going on around the league in terms of in the playoff hunt, I should say, right? So let's close this down here. All right, so obviously went to overtime, but the Buccaneers pulled out the win against the Panthers. We were rooting for the Panthers in that game, so that one didn't go the Packers' way. Chargers did beat the Falcons, so that
We got one.
There you go, one, right? We got one. And hopefully we'll get another here in a second. So the Falcons dropped a tough one there. They fall to 6-6. The Steelers, man, Russell Wilson, Tim, this dude is on a freaking tear right now, bro. Like it is crazy how Russell Wilson has had his career rejuvenated over there with Mike Tomlin. It's just wild. But they get the win here in Cincinnati, 44-38. They improved to 9-3. The Bengals fall to 4-8.
Mike Tomlin over there cooking with two quarterbacks, man. I mean, he's utilizing Justin Fields exactly how we thought he was probably going to do it, and they're finding success between him and Russell Wilson. It's crazy, man. Hats off to Mike Tomlin over there for sure.
Never had a losing season, Tim. Never. That's just wild. All right, Cardinals at the Vikings. The Vikings pull it out in the end. This was frustrating, as you guys know. Kyler Murray absolutely crapped the bed there at the end. They should have won that game. They really should have. The Cardinals had every chance to win that ball game, but the Vikings improved to 10-2. Listen, you got to tip your cap, man. They're having a hell of a year. They're just figuring out ways to win games. Colts.
I love those flaky Vikings fans that got exposed today too, dogging out Aaron Jones all day long. And then who's your hero at the end of the game? All of a sudden, we don't want to cut Aaron Jones now. Yeah, you flakes. I can't stand Vikings fans.
Tell us how you really feel, Tim. We got the Colts at the Patriots. They pulled out a real close one there, 25-24, as the Colts improved to 6-7. The Patriots now fall to 3-10. The Seahawks did beat the Jets as Aaron Rodgers threw a pick six to a 300-pound defensive lineman. So the Seahawks win 26-21. They improve to 7-5. Obviously, that one didn't go our way. Tennessee Titans at the Washington Commanders. The Commanders absolutely boat raced them 42-19. So the Commanders improve to 8-5. They still hold that. What seed was that? I'm trying to think of what seed they had a hold of there.
7, right?
Yeah, 7 seed, right? Yeah.
If
I remember correctly. We don't have it on there, but yeah, they were. I'm almost positive they were the 7 seed. This was going into today. This isn't the updated one, yes. So they were sitting in the 7 seed. So obviously they hold on to that. Man, 21 points in the first quarter. That's absolutely wild for the Commanders. Houston, Texas travel to Jacksonville. They get a win 23-20. I don't know if you've seen that hit on Trevor Lawrence. My God. That's a dirty play, right? That's a dirty play.
It is, and it's not his first. And I know the league's going to be looking at that. There's no place for that in football. You know, especially when you look at that play. We always talk about me. I'm a defensive guy. I'm always going to defend the defenders. But when a quarterback gives himself up, by rule, the ball's spotted where he starts to slide. So the play's technically already dead before you're even getting there. And it's hard to fly downhill and just stop. But man, you could just jump right over him or dive over that quarterback rather than shooting right into the front of his head like that. I hope Fabio's all right, man. That was brutal, man.
Yeah, hard to see for sure. The LA Rams ended up pulling off a not last second, but a fourth quarter win there as they outscore them in the fourth quarter. The Saints 14-8. So the Rams defeat the Saints on the road 21-14. I think they lost Taysom Hill. I don't know how long Taysom Hill is going to be out, but that might have some effect on the Packers Saints that are going to be coming up. What week is that, Tim? We got them in week 16 at Lambeau, Monday Night Football. So we got the Lions this Thursday. Then the following Sunday, we're at the Seahawks. And then the following Monday, we've got the Saints for Monday Night Football. Okay. Next, you got the Eagles beating the Ravens. You guys remember week 1 when we had people saying, "Oh, the Eagles are trash. They're trash." Yeah, they just beat the Ravens on the road 24-19. The Eagles are now 10-2. So at the time, I shouldn't say everybody. At the time, there were many people that was, dogging the Packers because they lost in Brazil to Philly. And Philly, they ended the year bad. They're a horrible team. They're overrated. Yeah, one of the best teams in the league. So I love the fact that one of our only 3 wins, right? Or losses, I should say. We only got 3 losses. One of those is to a team that's arguably the second or third best team in the entire National Football League. So
absolutely. And Saquon continuing to make the campaign case for MVP. You almost want to root for him because it's very rare we see anybody but a quarterback win that award. So Yeah, man, the Eagles are the real deal for sure.
Yeah, they definitely are. And so they just got kicked off in Buffalo. I think that Buffalo went 3-0. And it looks like Brock Purdy is actually playing. So he is on the field tonight. And I think I can't remember. There was somebody else that was supposed to be injured.
Do they get Trent Williams back? Or is he's
that's what I'm trying to see right here. Yeah, that looks like big old Trent Williams at left tackle. I'm not 100% sure. 76. No, I don't think that's him.
Okay.
Christian McCaffrey just ran over the – holy cow, man. San Fran coming out on fire here. So we'll see how this one goes as we move along. But, again, that is – you're around the league. Now, the games that we were keeping an eye on, like I said, only the Chargers at Atlanta were the one that went in our favor. So, obviously, we got a little bit of help there in terms of beating another NFC team down, just in case it comes down worst case scenario where we're competing for that final playoff spot. Now, when we go to the National Football Conference, this should be updated now. The 1 seed is the Detroit Lions at 11-1. Then we got Philadelphia Eagles in the 2 seed at 10-2. The Seattle Seahawks in the 3 seed at 7-5. The Atlanta Falcons in the 4 seed at 6-6. That's wild in the South. The 5 seed is the Minnesota Vikings at 10-2. The Packers are the 6 seed at 9-3. And the Washington Commanders are sitting in the 7 seed at 8-5. Now, if you look, Tim, worst case scenario, right? If we end up sliding and we go to the 7 seed here in the next couple of weeks, we've got a 3-game lead right now over Tampa Bay, Arizona, and the LA Rams. It's a nice little cushion. Now, listen, you don't want to back your way into the playoffs. You want to create momentum, finish strong, and all that, right? But just so you know, 3-game cushion there. Call it a 2-game cushion in case there's a tiebreaker that would, give someone the edge over us with the same record. But again, with 9 wins and those teams having 6. 3 is really the actual number. So interesting there. Is anything else you want to look at there? Is Chicago is the 14 seed in case you were wondering, Tim. I know you were concerned about that, right? But they're now sitting at 4.
Playoffs?
So don't think Chicago is going to make it. Don't think they're going to make it this year, boys.
Probably not. And after today in New Orleans is pretty much done. They're toasted too, I would think. And then, obviously we see with the Kyler Murray fiasco, Tampa Bay leapfrogs Arizona there. So they're the front runners for knocking on the door. But, I think we could see some changes. Don't get me wrong, maybe in seeding, but those look to be your 7 NFC playoff teams, I believe, in no particular order. But you never know. Things can change. Tampa Bay is one of those teams you don't know, it's like Forrest Gump, you never know what you're going to get. Exactly. So you got to keep an eye on them for sure. But, hey, the main thing is that's for us to do as fans and fanalists to keep an eye on these things. The Green Bay Packers need to keep their eye on their opponent in front of them and just go out and play good football and win ball games. That's all they can control. So I hope the Pack goes on a tear here these next few weeks.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so, again, that's around the league. Just taking a look at how the playoffs are shaking out. Good to see you in here, Andre. Appreciate you swinging through. Everybody, if you would, take a quick second, hit that like button for us. Thank y'all for making us a part of your Sunday evening here as we're just kind of wrapping up the NFL week and getting ready for this Lions week, as obviously the Packers are already well into Lions week, getting a grab on the tape and all that good stuff. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at the overview, Tim. That sound good to you, man?
Yes, sir. I see Chris in the chat too. Thank you. So no Trent Williams for the Niners. So they're still playing pretty banged up, missing some key guys.
Yeah, it looks like Buffalo got a stand there. So they held the San Francisco 49ers to a 3-point score. Field goal there, 7:41 left in the first quarter. San Fran leads 3-0. So, all right, when we look at this Lions preview here, let's just kind of go through it at a glance. Obviously, it's going to be on Thursday Night Football on Prime. It's going to be indoors there at Ford Field, in the Dome. So the Packers, listen, Jordan Love has had some pretty good success in domes in his young career, it seems like. So
I think low-key the Packers are a dome team. Well, yeah. We are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It really does. So points per game, the Lions are first in the NFL at 31.9 points per game. The Packers are 8th in the NFL at 26.5 points per game. Point differential, the Lions are first at plus 180. That is crazy. The Packers are 5th at plus 78. Records in close games, the Packers are 5-2. The Lions are 5-1. Hopefully we'll have that same record as this one, if it does come down to the wire and the Packers do get a dub here. Our average margin of victory, the Lions are third in the league at 16.7. The Packers are 14th at 10.6. Turnover differential, the Packers are +9. That's fifth in the league. And the Lions are +8. That's seventh. Tim, it's wild to think about with how much we've turned the ball over with the interceptions this year. We have a better turnover differential than the Detroit Lions. Now, keep in mind, Jared Goff, if I remember correctly, threw 5 interceptions in one game. So, obviously, you remove that, totally different story. But the stats are the stats there. It's pretty cool that the Packers have protected the football even better than arguably the best team in the league, although we have been kind of bad at it, honestly.
Yeah, it's true. That's why we say the metrics and the stats, they don't always tell the full story, right? We've kind of been defying the odds all year long. And, now looks like we're transitioning away from that, right? Because we're playing some damn good football as of lately. So hopefully things continue to be on the upswing for sure.
Yeah. So total penalties in terms of, how often these teams are flagged. So in total penalties, and it goes ranking by, least penalized, right? The Detroit Lions are right in the middle of the pack. They're 16th in the league with 74 penalties. The Packers are 24th at 82. So if we could catch a night where they're penalized more than the Packers, and I don't want to say luck up, but we kind of catch a break in that regard, who knows how the Lions may react to that, right? If we come out and they are heavily penalized, we'll see how that shakes out there. And any idea who the official is, Tim?
I'm on it right now.
Oh, man, I knew it. You get that ready. I'll go ahead and hit the point spread, and then when you pull up the official, we will actually go to the official statistics and get you guys and gals an idea of what these referees are doing in terms of these specific ones for the Lions game. We'll have that ready to go here in just a second. So as far as the point spread, the Packers, as it sits right now, are 3.5-point underdogs. Okay, now keep in mind when you're on the road, right, the home team typically catches 3 points. That's just kind of the history of the league. Now, if it's a really bad team, kind of throw that out the window. What this tells me is it's really a 0.5-point game, right? Because the fact that Detroit's playing at home and they're laying 3.5, this is going to be a close ball game. This is going to be so much fun. Over/under set at 51. This is going to be a track meet. The money line, the juice is on the Packers at +154. So obviously that's -185 for the Detroit Lions if you just want to bet at the money line just to win outright. But 3.5-point favorites. Tim, how do you feel about that, man? Do you feel like that's a pretty fair line? I think that's pretty well spot on. It could go either way, I think.
I agree. I think it's fair. I really do. I don't know with the injuries, it's tough. Like I said, I'm convinced that this isn't the same Lions team that we faced just a few short weeks ago, and I don't think we're the same Packers team. So I think the Lions is about as close to accurate as it can be right now.
Yeah, I think that's about where it needs to be too, man. I honestly do. Look at this, John coming in hot says Packers will steamroll the Fool's Gold Lions. Man, I hope you were correct, sir. I hope that's the case. But again, that's your NFL Pro. Just a quick little preview. We're going to dive deeper into it tomorrow and leading up to Thursday. We'll get into the PFF grades, the lineup matchups, all that good stuff. But as it sits right now, I just wanted to kind of give you guys that's the opening line coming out of Vegas in terms of who's the favorite and who isn't. So, Tim, do you have that official for us?
I do not. I don't know what's going on. I can't find it.
We need to get Robert on it, don't we? Robert's the man. Robert, if you hear my voice, text me as soon as you find out, sir. Don't worry about it, Tim. Don't worry about digging too deep. If it's Ron Tolbert,
now we know why they're hiding it.
Exactly. If you want to know the names that we don't want to hear when it is announced, guys, let me help you out here real quick, okay? So if we go to the top of this list, total flags, Ron Tolbert leads the way with 219. It's not even close for second at Adrian Hill at 193. That's just crazy.
Terry McCulley, unconfirmed. Okay. Terry McCulley, do we see him up there?
I do not see it.
Okay, so then this can't be. No, that's not right. He's retired. I'm getting all old information here.
There you go. We'll get it, man. We'll get it by the time we go live tomorrow.
Terry McCulley's on a golf course right now. Wondering why I'm talking about him.
Terry McCauley's using a bedpan right now, probably, to be honest with you. So let's just call it what it is. And we're all going to be there one day. Don't laugh. Nobody laugh. We're all going to be there one day, right? Anything else you want to hit on, man, before we wrap up? Any questions in the chat, comments, anything you guys and gals got before we get ready to wrap up? We're at the 40-minute mark. I don't want to stretch it out. I know everybody wants to go watch this snow game, and we don't want to, obviously bore anybody with this show that sucks. We're going to be back in the morning for Good Morning Lambeau, and we're going to start to dive in a little deeper to the Lions game. So, Tim, you got anything else you want to hit on, man? Anything that's at the forefront of your mind?
No, not in particular, other than just hopefully we continue to get healthy going forward here down the stretch. Rome getting back on the field would be huge. Jair getting back would be huge, and obviously Edrin Cooper joining the party with Corey Ballantyne would be awesome too. As close to full strength as we can be to push into the playoffs. That's my mantra right now. John Cleet Blackman will be the ref. Okay.
So I don't know if it's accurate or not. He may be pulling our leg. Is that guy still alive? Do we know?
Well, Cleet, I thought we had Cleet for the last one, so that might be from the last matchup.
That makes sense. So, all right. If we can get double confirmation there.
I'm taking a look here.
We'll go ahead and pull the officials back up too and see. Yeah, Cleet Blakeman's on here, man. He's on here.
Yeah.
So if it is Cleet Blakeman, let me just try to narrow this down. Boy, they make this difficult to do. Boy, let me tell you. Lord have mercy. Here we go. All right, total flags. Again, Ron Tolbert in the lead at 219, Adrian Hill at 193, Sean Hockley at 191. Cleet Blakeman, he's only officiated 11 games, okay? And keep in mind, Ron Tolbert and Adrian Hill have officiated 12. He has thrown the fourth most flags of all the officials at 190, all right? So if we were to go average per game, oh boy, Tim, average per game, 15.27. You ain't going to believe this. We got a new leader in the clubhouse. Cleet Blakeman has averaged more flags per game than Ron Tolbert.
Are you kidding me?
I'm telling you, man. Hey, records are meant to be broken, Tim, as I use my back scratcher. Look how professional this show is, man. Let me go right down here. Get that up. That's what happens, man. So we need to get Cleet Blakeman up there. We need to get a picture of Cleet Blakeman is what we need, bub, because Ron Tolbert, you're off the hook momentarily, okay? Let's see what this asshat looks like in Cleet Blakeman real quick. See what we got here.
Good old Cleet.
Good old Cleet, yeah.
Gotta love a football guy with the name Cleet, though. That is pretty cool.
That is true, man. That's definitely named correctly. I got you right here. You're gonna like this picture too. We'll have to flash this up from time to time. You kidding me? This is why we tried to end the show, guys, because it already sucks. All right. Here is our boy Cleet Blakeman. All right, we got the suspect in custody here. Here's the guy right here. It doesn't matter who it is. Tim always goes, ugh, every time we show an official. Every time.
Yeah, there's like 2 or 3 refs that I got some respect for. That's about it. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, in a game like this, they just let the boys play. Obviously, if it's blatant, you got to call it, right? And that's the type of penalties you want to see. When it's obvious, you want to see a flag. If it's, questionable, sometimes the best call is no call. That's how I feel about it. Usually the real bad stuff is pretty self-evident, right? It's always interesting when you get the flag thrown and then you get a 10-minute conversation between the officials trying to figure out what exactly happened. It's when you get a little nervous. So hopefully the refs don't have a big impact on this one.
Yeah, just kind of stay out of it and let us lock horns, right?
Yep.
All right. Anything else, Bub?
No, that's it, man. Looking forward to the morning show. I'm going to program my coffee maker tonight. Be ready to roll.
I'll be ready to roll too. We will. What we'll do in the morning, we'll have the hour. I'll make a note right now so I don't forget. We're going to go Lions hour list so we can kind of get an idea of who these players are. Hopefully, we'll have an official injury report by then. Matter of fact, I will. If it'll let me, I'll go ahead and double check. It ain't gonna let me. Let's see. Might be able to here. I was gonna go ahead and double check one more time. Yeah, it'd be a pain in the rear end to get that to pull up. Tomorrow morning we'll check for the official injury report. Now give us an idea of the guys. Now keep in mind the ones that are on IR are not going to be on the injury report, so we'll pull up that separate and get an idea of just how banged up they are. and then obviously the players that may or may not have just gotten added to the injury list as well. We'll do the same thing with the Packers, and we may start diving into some of the tape too, Tim. I know that Jahmyr Gibbs, just a little spoiler for tomorrow morning, he's averaging 6 yards per carry this year. Dude's playing outside of his mind, right?
Good luck doing that since you gave away all the code words.
Right. So we'll look at his explosive plays. He has 29 on the year, 29 runs of 10 yards or more. He's cracked 15 mile an hour 42 times. In 2 different plays, he cracked 20 miles an hour. So this dude's a weapon. There's no two ways about it. We'll dive into some of their explosive plays and get an idea of what they like to do, what sets they like to run out of, that type of thing. So
awesome.
That's pretty much it. Tim, welcome back, buddy. We'll see you in the morning for Good Morning Lambeau. Appreciate you hanging out tonight.
Thanks, brother. Always happy to be here.
All right, guys. We'll see y'all in the morning. For those of you listening on the pod, thank you for making us a part of your day. As always, let's go out and be the change we want to see in the world. And go Packers.
Thanks for watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Green Bay Packers content. Created for the fans by the fans. Hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you know whenever we go live. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Packers_access. Go Pack Go. Have a great day.